Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Bhalava Giri Bharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Bhalava Giri Bharadhari Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamunatira Banachari Jamunatira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotarashata Shishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotarashata Shishimad His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Grantara Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki. Itai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shishiguru and Shiguranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, the Summon Bonon, Chapter 41, Krishna and Balaram enters Mathura, Text 9 to 12. Tam sametyaha bhagabham Tam sametyaha bhagabham Akruram jagat ishvaraha Grihitva panina panim Prashritam prahasham iva Tam sametyaha bhagavam Akruram jagat ishvaraha Grihitva panina panim Prashritam prahasam iva Tan sametyaha bhagavam Akruram jagat ishvaraha Grihitva panina panim Prasritam prahasam iva. Please chant. Tan sametyaha bhagavam Akruram jagat ishvara Grihitva paninam panim Prashitam prahashan iva. Tam sametyaha bhagavam Akruram jagat ishvaraha Grihitva panina panim Prashitam prahasim viva. Tan sametyaha bhagavam Akruram jagat ishvaraha Grihitva panina panim Prashritam prahasam iva. Tam, with them, sametya, meeting, Aha said, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Akruram of Akrura, Jagat Ishwaraha, the Lord of the universe, Grihitva, taking, Panina, with his hand, Panin, his hand, Prashritam, who was humble, Prahasham, smiling, Eva, indeed. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After joining Nanda and the others, the Supreme Lord Krishna, the controller of the universe, took humble Akrura's hand in his own and, smiling, spoke as follows. Text number 10. Bhavam pravishadam agre sahajana puringriham bhajantuiha bamuchyata tato drakshamahe purim. Lord Krishna said, take the chariot and enter the city ahead of us. Then go home. After resting here a while, we will go to see the city. Text number 11. Sri Akrura Uvacha Naham Bhavavyam Rahita Prabhakshye Maturam Prabho Tyaktum Narhasi Mannata Bhaktante Bhaktabhatsala. Translation. Sri Akrura said, O Master, without the two of you, I shall not enter Mathura. I am your devotee, O Lord, so it is not fair for you to abandon me, since you are always affectionate to your devotees. And text number 12. Agacha jamage hamna sanatan kuru adokshaya. Sanatan kuru adokshaya. Sahagraja sagopalai Sruhit bischa sruhit tamam. Translation. Come, let us go to my house with your elder brother, the cowherdsman, and your companions. O best of friends, O transcendental Lord, in this way, please grace my house with his masters. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Romapada Swami Giti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaura Bani Pracharine Nirveshesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Shatarine. Vancha Kalpatarubhyasha Kripasindu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. There is no Bhaktivedanta purpose in these verses, but we have the purpose of some of our Vaishnava Acharyas. Here's Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on text number 9. Text number 9 again reads like this. After joining Nanda and the others, the Supreme Lord Krishna, the controller of the universe, took humble Akrura's hand in his own and, smiling, spoke as follows. The reminder of the scenery or the pastime. The Lord is entering Mathura, the district of Mathura, or the city of Mathura. He just arrived in the, the limits of the outskirts of the city of Mathura. There is a garden in the outskirts, and the Vrijavasis, Nanda Maharaj and the Vrijavasis, they were waiting there for Krishna to arrive. So as Krishna arrived there, Akrura stopped, and then Krishna joined Nanda Maharaj and the cowherdmen, and his cowherd friends too. And then he is addressing now Akrura. So he took Akrura's hand, says here, humble Akrura's hand, on his own and smiling, spoke as follows. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, while seeming to smile, Krishna spoke to Akrura with humility. He smiled in order to please Akrura, but actually he was full of grief on seeing the city of Mathura because he remembered that he had left Braja. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is allowing us to see another aspect from another point of view. Although the verse, says that Lord Krishna smiled at Akrura and very affectionately took the hand of humble Akrura, and with a smile he spoke. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is allowing us to enter into the heart of Krishna, Lord Krishna, who was feeling some grief. So he smiled just to please Akrura, but inside he was feeling grief of leaving Braja and entering Mathura. So seeming to smile. So, but in reality, he was doing that not because he was feeling happy or ecstasy, but because he was reciprocating. He was more thinking of Akrura rather than to himself, like that. Srila Jiva Goswami comments, though he was the Lord of the universe, Krishna took Akrura's hand in his own because he was displaying his unlimited qualities, Bhagavan, such as being affectionate to his devotee. He appears to smile to show that he was not deceptive. So, one can question if one hears like, well, you're not feeling happy, but you smile. It may be deceptive, but the fact is that Srila Jiva Goswami is telling us here that he was not deceptive. He was actually doing that, but it was specifically in relationship to Akrura, in his connection with Akrura, his reciprocation. So he may not be, happy, but in order to connect with Akrura and to reciprocate with Akrura, he smiled very sweetly and affectionately. Srila Sanatana Goswami comments on this verse. He met with Nanda. It was proper to give up others and join with his friends in order to experience happiness in his pastimes. Though he was the Lord of the universe, Krishna took Akrura's hand in his own because he was displaying his unlimited qualities, such as being affectionate to his devotees. He appeared to smile. This was natural. He had no deception. Or Eva indicates that it was a slight smile, since he was pained by separation from the gopis. So a slight smile. And Srila Sanatana Goswami says that actually Krishna can once is joined with his intimate friends and associates, that the Vrijavasis, Nanda Maharaj and the Vrijavasis, it's not unnatural that he give up others. There's levels of intimacy. So the levels of intimacy with the Brijavasis. So this is what is going to happen as we're going to hear this pastime. Krishna is sending Akrura. As we read them, he's sending Akrura away. He say, "Go home. You go ahead with it, and we'll stay here." And Akrura, we hear he protested. Well, protested in a humble way, but he wanted to stay with the Lord, and he requested the Lord, "Please don't give me up. I'm your devotee and your Bhakta Vatsal." So, but Srila Sanatana Goswami is highlighting here that the Lord is fully independent. He is the way he acts. He's not, is not by a particular how you say. He is obliged to do something or act in a particular way. He's fully independent. What is it? The word Abhigyaswarat? Abhigyaswarat, no. Swarat. I think that's independent, yes. So, then, text number 10, I read also the commentaries by the Acharyas. Text number 10 reads like this. "Take the chariot," Krishna speaking to Akrura, Lord Krishna said, "Take the chariot and enter the city ahead of us. Then go home. After resting here for a while, we will go to see the city." So Krishna have his plan. He will rest with with the Brijavasis in that garden for some time, and then they will go and see the city. Meanwhile, the order for Akrura is that you go home. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, quote, "You go ahead to your house in the city with the chariot. We will rest here, and then we will see the city," end of quote. Srila Jiva Goswami comments, "After you enter the city, we see the city." Krishna addressed him as Tata to show respect. Since we want to rest and then see the city, going, we will be delayed. Therefore, it is not possible for us to enter with you. They wanted to see the city in a leisurely way. And then text number 11, Sri Akrura said, this is how I read, "O Master, without the two of you, I shall not enter in Mathura. I'm your devotee, O Lord. It is not fair for you to abandon me, since you are always affectionate to your devotees." Srila Jiva Goswami comments on this verse. Because of great pain, he calls out to Krishna many times with, "O Lord, O Giver, O Krishna, affection to your devotees. I cannot enter the city without you because you give shelter to all beings, since you are the most powerful. Enter with my permission. I cannot leave you." So it seems that this is okay. "Enter with my permission." I understand this part. "I cannot leave you since you give a person whatever he desires. But detached, neutral persons can be given up. I'm your devotee. Surrender completely to you. I cannot give you up, but for a short time you should go to..." Yeah, that is like Krishna responding to that. "I cannot give you up, but for a short time you should go to your home from relaxing in the city. It is not proper for you to give up your devotee for even a moment, since you're the most affection to them, make affection to them. It's a letter written in a I don't know if it's typos or things like that, but I couldn't follow perfectly. But the idea is that Akrura is feeling quite unhappy about the idea that he's going to be separated from the Lord. And we understand that from, devotees who receive the mercy of the Lord, and the idea, is to be separated is very hard. Lord Chaitanya expresses that in the Shikshastaka. Govinda Virahena Me. What is that? No, the one before. Always Govinda Virahena Me. The moment that, oh my Lord, not having your association feels like a moment is like like a whole kalpa, like, what is it, many years or more, like that. So feeling your separation, I consider a moment to be like thousands of years, like that. So Yugayitan Nimeshina Chakshusha Pavishajitan. So he's feeling like that. Please, it's not fair. He say, it's not fair. It's not fair that you abandon me. So he's pleading to the Lord in this way. Now, text number 12 reads, "Come, let's go to my house. Why staying in this garden?" Akrura was one of the, royalty of the Yadus. So he have a palace. He have great facilities. So please come to my house with your elder brother, the cowherdsman, everybody. Just come. We will accommodate there and receive you properly. He is the Supreme Lord. Imagine, that your worshipable, Lord, or what, even if say in our situation, your spiritual master is coming to visit you to a city, and there's no a temple, there's no, and they're going to stay in some hotel, something like that. You will feel really bad. No, please come. My house is, you will accommodate immediately like that. So this is Akrura's natural feeling. Why staying in this garden, outside here? Please come to my house. And everybody should come. Cowherdsmen and your companions, oh best of friends, oh transcendental Lord, in this way, please grace my house with his master. So Akrura is expressing properly that that his house is Krishna's place. It belongs to Krishna. So he's the master of the house. So it was quite appropriate for him to go and grace the house, his house. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, "Let the inhabitants of Braja, you and I, go to our houses. I will not go to Kansa and announce the news of your arrival now. How can I announce that he will die the day after tomorrow? I do not have a speck of fear from him, because I have seen your powers in the Yamuna. Also, there will be no lack of things in my house. Therefore, let us go all there. Let us all go there." Jiva Goswami comments, "What should I do? Come to my house. You should go to Kansa." And Krishna, since this is Krishna saying, Yeah, yes. So it seems that this is, Srila Jiva Goswami goes into the dialogue like that. So, what should I do? Come to my house. And Krishna, you should go to Kansa in order to tell him that we have arrived. And then, fearing such an answer from Krishna, he showed fearlessness because of experiencing Krishna's powers in the Yamuna. I will not go there. Come to my house. You too, the others, and I will first go to our residence. But not seeing Krishna's consent, then he prayed with humility. Do this for us, who protected by you. He speaks in the plural to indicate his friends as well. You are beyond the knowledge of the senses, but you will prove your protective qualities by coming to my house personally. Or go to our houses and give the residents protection. Since the house are without masters, by going to them, your quality of giving protection will be shown. Do not come alone, but with your brother and your cowherds. Or come with your friends who protect the carts and oxen. This meaning can be derived according to the rule of Tritiya Satam Yor Bahula Panini. So I guess this is on Chastras 2484. Why do we have to go immediately? Those who show unconditional mercy are friends. Devotees are even better friends. Bhagavan is the best friend. Sruhitama. So it's a very sweet exchange. But we see that at the end, the Lord has a particular plan. And that plan may not necessarily be how Akrura, as a devotee, will that's how he envisions or how he would like for the Lord's mercy to be like that. It's something that is commonly happens to devotees because the Lord is independent. He have a particular way that he wants to carry his pastimes, and as devotees, we always serving him in his pastimes. So, from our perspective, it will be natural that we see things moving in a particular direction, as we understand. Is what is supposed to be, but the Lord is not obliged to follow a particular, way. So, as devotees, then we always have to be very attuned to Krishna's plan. And sometimes Krishna's plans we may not be able to see and understand immediately. It may be quite confusing how Krishna is making arrangements and the things that devotees have to go through. We see it over and over and over in the passions of the Lord and with certain devotees. Like yesterday, we were listening to my spiritual master, His Holiness Ramapat Swami, was speaking about Bharat of the Ramayana. And there was the exchange in which he was going with the whole army of Ayodhya and all the people of Ayodhya to go to the forest, to Chitrakoot, and bring Ram back to the kingdom, to take the kingdom, and he will stay in the forest, to fulfill the 14 years of exile. That was his plan. So he's brought everybody, and so this particular instance, when he was in the ashram of Bharadwaj Muni, then he was introducing, he was just introducing the people that came with him. So there were the three queens. So he introduced, this is the highly pure and elevated Kaushalya. She is the mother of, the Supreme Lord Ram. And here's the most wonderful and pure Sumitra. What's the mother of Lakshman? Not Sumitra. Kaushalya. What's the mother of Lakshman and Satrugna? Sumitra is? Okay. Here's Sumitra, the mother of the powerful twins, Lakshman and Satrugna. And that one over there is the most sinful and wretched and terrible demoness, who happens to be my mother. She couldn't even mention the name. She's just like, that sinful wretch who brought unhappiness and to our house and destroyed the whole, for the purpose of destroying the dynasty. So Bharadwaj Muni chastised Bharat. And he says that you should not fault your mother for all the things that happen. And the things that happened were very terrible. And the things that she did was, it created this terrible havoc. Starting with the death of the emperor, and then this sending Lord Ramachandra and Sita in exile with Lakshman. So Bharadwaj Maharaj said, you should not fault her, because the result of these actions, these are imperfect coordination with the plan of the Lord. So the exile, the result of all this, is going to bring so much good to the whole world. And it's something that is going to be very pleasing and to the whole universe. That's the result of her actions, because that's the plan of the Lord. So you should not fault her, because it's perfectly in tune with the plan of the Lord. And later, when they reach Lord Ramachandra's, hut in the forest, then Lord Ramachandra told that to Bharat's mother, Kaikeyi. He says, don't feel bad. I directed you from within the heart to say those words. So the anguish that all these devotees have to go through. And you can imagine the anguish of Kaikeyi, because she loved Lord Ramachandra, it is said sometimes even more than his own son Bharat, her own son Bharat. So he was very devoted to Lord Ramachandra, and she had pure love for Lord Ramachandra. She's an associate. And in order to fulfill the pastimes of the Lord, she had to go through all these things that, create sort of situations that were full of sorrow for the Lord. And for everybody, for all the devotees, for the whole community of devotees, have to suffer so much from her actions that were directed by the Lord. So she was the one who have to bear that whole, weight. And she came to realize that my Guru Maharaj was reading when Bharat found out that everything she did, he disowned her, and he was, very, very, very upset and disturbed. And after they did the funeral rituals, for Maharaj Dasarat, then as Satrughna and Bharat were coming back to the palace, Satrughna saw Mantara in one corner, dressed with, this very, very expensive clothing and jewelry, and he just lost it. He just took his sword out and then went and grabbed the woman and just dragging, to the middle of a hole, and please come. And announced to everybody that he will kill this sinful woman. And then the description is that Mantara just started to shriek, scream, ah! And Kaikeyi heard this commotion and then came out. And then when Satrughna, who lost it, saw Kaikeyi, he also, started to accuse her and chastise her and, say very, very harsh words. And Bharat was able to calm him down, because Bharat was thinking, I will kill these two myself. I will kill my own mother. But Lord Ramachandra won't be happy with that. He won't accept that. He will not talk to us ever if we do that. So, as Kaikeyi is saying, that was seeing all this, she thought to herself that, how is it possible? Where was my mind and my head? How is it possible that I came with all this? That enters into my heart, do something harmful for Ram. This must be something that was dictated by fate, by some divine arrangement. It had to be like that. It could not have been possible. She came to that realization. So I'm saying this just to highlight that sometimes, the way the Lord's plans is, He may have some situation that we have as devotees. Of course, we're not in the level of these intimate associates, pure associates of the Lord, like, like in this case, Kaikeyi. But the principle remains the same. The Lord has a plan, and we as devotees, sometimes we may have to go through all kinds of tribulations because the Lord has that particular plan for us. It's very, very specific. And we have to take that with humility and also with gratitude, with the gratitude that actually we've been that there is a whatever the Lord give us is for our benefit. We have that faith, Lord Brahma's famous prayers, that we always quote, that Tate Nukampan, Tate Nukampan Sushamik Shamano verse, that we just wait for the Lord's mercy. We know it's there. We know is ours because we're surrendered to the Lord. We're the Lord's devotees. So we wait for His mercy patiently. It will come. When? It doesn't matter. But it will come. Meanwhile, with gratitude, I just tolerate whatever is there in my path and then go on doing my service. So it's a principle, and in this case, Akrura he may be disappointed that he may not stay with the Lord, or the Lord come to his home. The Lord has His plan, it's part of His lila, and at the end, he have to become connected and unified with the Lord's plan. And with gratitude and happiness, carry out the will of the Lord. So I stop here. I invite some comments or questions if you have.
It came to mind that because of that inability to perhaps see from a more broader perspective, the plan of Krishna, if one is, as you pointed out, going through or have gone through tribulation, one may actually lose perspective and in fact feel abandoned. It seems a kind of a sense of that would come if one is going through difficulty, but one is not seeing the broader picture. So then there's a sense of being abandoned by the Lord. So in some sense, hearing Akura's prayer, it's that sense of being abandoned, even though in his case it was a simple matter of just, either coming to his house or Krishna staying behind and exploring the city on his own. So what would you say is helpful to understand that one hasn't been abandoned by the Lord?
Yeah, I think that's important. I think that's where it lies. The whole principle, and to understand that one always, that everything the Lord does in relation to each one of us is perfect. It's just the right thing that is there for us to become closer to Him, to sort of kindle, that desire, to make that desire to be with Him even deeper and deeper and deeper. So everything is meant for life. I mean, if we have that faith, then you just have to tolerate the whole thing that goes. That's what Lord Brahma, say in his prayers. You tolerate all that stuff that you're experiencing due to, whatever, either karma or reaction or things that you're going through, tribulation, whatever is there, you tolerate. And then while tolerating that, you start to look inside and see how, what's the Lord's plan, what's the Lord's message, what is there that the Lord is leading us and helping us understand to become closer. And I think that is the beauty of connecting and seeing the Lord's reciprocation, because it's pretty amazing when we're able to do something like that. Every time we're able to do even a little bit of that, then you immediately start to see the Lord's reciprocation. It's there for one of us. It's pretty much tailored. What is 4:11 Bhagavad Gita? That I reciprocate with each one. I reciprocate with all according to how they surrender to me. Famous verse. Yeyatamma prapadente tanstataiva bhajamyaham. So the Lord reciprocates with each one of us. This is perfect. So every situation is just perfect. From little devotee to great devotee. It's all perfectly arranged like that. So, anything else? Okay. Thank you so much. It's the first day of Kartik Mas. So wish you to have a wonderful month of Kartik to everybody, and it's a wonderful time to absorb oneself in devotional service. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.